Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to this episode. I'm your host, Grady Tester, back again with, of course,
Scott! Yay.
Scott! Yay! What's up, man?
Nothing much. I mean, same old, same old.
Same old, man. Doesn't that get boring?
It does. It does. That's why I like doing these. It's something different.
Yeah, you get out of the house and you actually get to sit down and talk about stuff, and the timer hasn't started.
I hit okay.
You hit restart.
Damn it.
Oh, well. It still didn't start.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted me to start it.
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine. It's just a couple seconds. Just a couple minutes, man. Not that big of a deal. So, what are we talking about today?
I think the topic on our minds might be some TV shows and maybe growing up.
Oh, man. TV shows and growing up.
We're going to tell you about the birds and the bees. What'd you do?
Oh, I
was sitting here talking about the birds and the bees, and you're sitting here hitting yourself against something.
I hit my arm against my mixer here. Birds and the bees. What the?
Oh, you said growing up. Or I said growing up.
Yeah, but...
And we agreed.
What does that have to do with...
I wasn't going to use that term, but growing up.
Does that make you uncomfortable, Scott?
No, but it might make little kids watching this uncomfortable.
I'm going to... If I censored it, they'll probably... Like, I wonder what people would think
If you
that
censored
word... If I censored... I wonder
beeped out.
Yeah, if I beeped out... I wonder what people would think we're actually saying.
Something awesome.
How confused are
What's so
people?
bad
I wonder
about-
how confused people are right now
Probably pretty confused.
because we're censoring out sex.
Are we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually are, though.
That confused me.
I may actually censor the first little bit, and I may just like not censor one, so people will be like, "Wait, is that the word he's talking about?"
You know what's even better? Is they're listening to everything we're talking about, so it really doesn't make any sense.
No, it really just doesn't even. There's no
Do we
difference.
need to restart?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Why would we need to restart?
Because this is random as f.
So,
All right, so TV shows and growing up. I went birds and the bees.
TV shows.
TV shows.
TV shows. Man, I can't even say that. TV shows.
All right, so we're talking about TV shows and growing up. And
Man,
I
you're just
figured
really wanting to get on topic, aren't you?
Yeah, because we are so off topic, it's a little bit ridiculous. So, all right. Do you want to talk about growing up first, or you want to talk about TV shows?
I mean, how about we talk about TV shows we watched when we were growing up?
How I Met Your Mother, enough said. That
Okay,
is
let's start
the
it.
greatest show ever.
Let's start when we were like 3.
Power Rangers, enough said.
That's
And
it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! growing up.
Holy
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon was really good. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Now, was this when you were 3, or like was this just as young?
This is just you know that
when you were a
Fox
kid.
did that 4Kids TV thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it started out with like Power Rangers and Yu-Gi-Oh! Was all on that. And then as I got a little bit older in Toonami, I watched Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, and I had no idea that was anime at the time.
Right. It's crazy to think we were Toonami.
Ever that young.
You know, I know, right? You know, Toonami, like it came on, what was it? It was Cartoon Network, wasn't it?
Yeah,
First,
and I want to say it was like at 6 or 7 until like 11 or something like that.
yeah, now they've changed it completely. It's on at like 11 at night, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty
So
late.
it's kind of like where
I think. I'm
Adult
not sure.
Swim, that started at like 12:01 or 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, Adult Swim was like 12 o'clock back then, but now
Okay.
I don't know what time it is now.
I don't either.
I don't watch cable. I haven't seen it in so long. But like Toonami,
You remember Code Lyoko?
yeah. Oh my God, Code Lyoko.
Yeah, well, I was talking about that
Oh
with one
my
of my buddies
God.
at work. Code Lyoko was the
Dude, I haven't heard the name Code Lyoko in
it was
years.
phenomenal.
It was
and
fantastic.
Samurai Jack. I haven't got to see the new ones on that, but I hear it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've been wanting to see the new ones because like they brought it back and it looks ridiculous. Like, I mean, it looks like the exact same art style as what they did in the
Oh, really?
original.
I haven't watched nothing on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It looks just like the same art style.
Okay.
Obviously, he looks older. It's kind of like the difference between watching the very first X-Men and watching Logan.
Oh, okay.
Like he actually, there's actually some age, like it actually, updated.
Okay.
It didn't because I know with some cartoons, I know. Here we go with this movie. We watched it growing up. Honestly, it's one of my favorite animated films from Pixar. It's a Pixar Disney film. Is The Incredibles.
Oh, okay.
And now with the new one coming out in like 2019,
There's a new Incredibles movie coming out?
they're coming out with The Incredibles 2, my man.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, but they were talking about a little short interview came out about it, talking about will the kids grow up, because Jack was the baby in The Incredibles, and they did like an interview and they were able to confirm no, like it's going to take place right after the first one.
Well, that's kind of dumb.
It,
I mean, I know the first one leaves it for
yeah.
a hang, it like leaves a hanging there with the ball man or whatever they are, but I kind of feel like I want to see Jack older because he was the most OP with powers.
Well, right now, the way that the interview said, it's supposed to be Mrs. Incredible.
As like the main protagonist instead of Mr.
Yeah, and Mr. Incredible is going to be the stay-at-home dad trying to take care of Jack as Jack's discovering his new powers.
Okay.
So it's, he's going to have his hands full. It's going to be bonkers, man.
I wonder what Dash and Violet are going to be like.
I mean, they're obviously...
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Which Dash, they finally let him do sports, so maybe he'll be like the star, and you'll see like school, and it's gonna have like Dash's picture.
I love that at the end whenever he's actually he's doing track,
and they're like, go first, go. Third place, no, second's good.
Yeah, second's good. Go faster. No, not that fast. Slow down. Win just by a little bit. Win by a little bit.
And then the dudes behind him are like,
yeah,
what?
like I think there was like a family in front of him looking back at him like, what?
I mean, but The Incredibles was pretty good. My personal favorite Disney Pixar movie, since you said yours was Incredibles, mine, actually, I don't even think it's a Disney Pixar. It may just be Pixar. It's Finding Nemo.
Really?
I love that movie. That movie is like, I watched Finding Dory, liked Finding Dory, but it was not as good as Finding Nemo. I can honestly say that I thought Finding Nemo was a way better movie.
He touched the butt.
I know he did. That's what she said.
Really? You just took it there? I was making it innocent like the movie, and you had to take... God. See what you did?
You always have to add a little bit of spice into some stuff you say.
Spice? Gotta add some spice to
like
it.
The Spice Girls. I ain't heard them in a while.
Oh, wow. That's a band that...
Hey, they were big when we were growing up.
Yeah, they were.
And they had like Jason McCartney and stuff like that, too.
Right. It's crazy to see like some of these artists that were in these like groups... back when we were growing up, are now individual artists.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
Like Justin Timberlake. Was he in NSYNC? Was it NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? Do you remember?
Yes.
See.
Wow, why can't I remember this?
I don't remember either, really. I mean, I know Justin Timberlake is a great artist now. I mean,
yeah.
But I can't remember what he was in at first.
It makes you think, because there's a lot of artists today like that were in groups back then that are now individual artists that are actually really big. What happened to the others?
That's a good point.
Exactly, because like you got these ones. It's interesting how it works, because you got labels and stuff saying they seem like they're the most marketable, so let's get them, and then just let the rest of the members
just follow the wayside.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but
yeah,
I mean it happens.
But all right. So more adult TV shows. I know we kind of a little off track there, but what's your favorite more adult TV show? I know you don't watch cable, but
right now,
like Netflix, how it has series on there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you talking about right now?
Right now, what would you prefer to watch if you haven't seen all of them already over anything?
I honestly don't know, because I watched Breaking Bad. Like, I watched the first episode of it, and after I watched the first episode, I was hooked, and I ended up having to watch all of it, and I did not want to. I didn't want to watch Breaking Bad, but I ended up watching the first episode, getting hooked, and had to finish it.
I am one of those rare few. I watched the first episode. Everybody was like, Breaking Bad's so good. Breaking Bad's amazing. Breaking Bad's amazing. I watched the first episode. I was like, and turned it off.
I wish I would have done that. Because I
personally just did not think Breaking Bad was up to the hype. That could be because everybody hyped it up.
I mean, I totally agree. But it was just the fact that it actually hooked me,
So we're opposites. It didn't. I didn't. And it was not in interest to me. I was like, okay, if it's that good, I'll give it a shot. You know.
Right. Yeah.
But then I didn't. But then everybody's like, season one's slow, season two's better, and I was like, I don't want to sit through season one to get to season two.
Right.
And you can't start at season two. It don't make sense.
I mean, that's kind of what I did. Because I had to sit through. I think that's what happened, because I did sit through season one hoping that something would happen. And then season two came around and it was a lot better.
Okay.
But I don't know. It just. I'm not going to spoil it, but I did not like the ending, the way they ended it. But of course, they had to end it some way, you know. They had, but the ending was just like, you know. But like some of these shows and movies, you've already started watching it, and you've already started watching it and committed to watch it to the end. And you get to the end, and they basically take like a big on your chest and making you smell it, like, haha. We just ended it that way. What are you going to do about it? You've already watched all of it. What are you going to do? Huh?
You're going to do nothing. You're
Exactly.
just going to sit in a corner, fetal position, and cry.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, on shows that ended, How I Met Your Mother, like I said earlier, it was my favorite sitcom, I guess you would call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I've seen every episode probably 20, 30 times. It's on Netflix. I've watched every bit of it. The ending sucked. The ending was god-awful. The ending was stupid. They should have just ended it at season 8 and never went to a 9th season. If they would have went to a 9th season, they should have done the ending better.
Right.
Great show. The ending, I wouldn't say the ending was the ending was not what I was hoping for.
Yeah. I remember a lot of nostalgia connected to How I Met Your Mother, because around the time it came out, we were like 13, 14?
I don't quite remember when it came out.
I don't remember when it... we were around that... We were
probably
we were younger than 16, but we were older than 10.
Okay.
I know that for sure. I just remember like going to your house, and literally it was me, you, your two sisters, and your mom. Like we would all sit there, because like during the day you would constantly be at my house all day. Like we would be here or out somewhere doing something constantly, and then at like 6 o'clock, was it when it came on or something?
I don't remember.
Whenever it came on, we would be at your house watching it. And, like, we would all just be sitting there watching it and content. It was, I don't know, there was something about it. And your sister would always make food. And there was, like, she always made spaghetti. Do you remember this?
Dude, it's been so long, man, I don't remember nothing.
Dude, your sister used to make spaghetti all the time.
I know she made a lot of shake and bake chicken.
Yeah, she did. But also she used to make spaghetti constantly. And we would go over there and just, like, eat spaghetti constantly. I'm serious. Like, I keep saying constantly. I need to watch myself. But, like, that was one thing in particular, like, one food in particular I remember her cooking all the time was spaghetti.
But if it wasn't all the time, but for some reason, like, you just remember it as all the time.
I think it was just, like, one of those foods that she made when there was more than just you all there. You know, because it was easy to make and, you know, whatever.
It's possible.
It's possible, because I just remember it because... Every time I'd come over to your house, I wouldn't come over that often. You were here more than I was over at your house. But every time I'd come over, we would always
and every time we were here, we always played games.
Yeah, so, but every time that I would go to your house, it was shake and bake or spaghetti. Which, you know, it was delicious. But it was one of those, it's kind of one of those things whenever you don't, you know, prepare for someone coming over. Because we never prepared for me coming over, you coming over. It was just a given. You don't prepare for it. It's kind of one of those things like... You know, the parents are like, well, I'm unprepared for guests. I'll just fix this, you know. Wow, we went from shows to talking about...
Random food that my sister fixed. Well, it's like, all right, the first time I met you, okay, I've been living in a neighborhood, and for probably about a year or two, I'd say.
To preface this, we live in like this... We live on the outskirts of like a suburban neighborhood. So imagine like this cookie cutter suburban neighborhood and then the outskirts of it. So the outskirts of this neighborhood would be like the houses that are still cookie cutter, but we're not bounded by other houses. We just have neighbors to the left and right, but in front of us we just have fields and stuff, you know, living in Tennessee. So there we go. I prefaced it a little bit.
So we, and I had this friend, and he lived I lived on this little curve thing. And,
curve thing.
I don't know what you call it.
You lived on the curve.
I lived on a curve, and it was a sharp curve.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a bunch of wrecks growing up, but
yeah, right.
It's true.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that car flip over this cliff and roll and drive off.
Right. I mean, is it really a cliff though? I mean, it's.
It was enough to make the dude flip 3 times.
I mean, it's
and he just drove off.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
I remember
what?
that.
His hood flew off.
And the neighbor right in front of you, his
or
shed.
like kind of to the side.
Yeah, kind of in front of you, kind of to
The blue man's what we call him.
adjacent. Yeah, we call him the blue man because every single one of his vehicles are blue.
Except for that Mustang, and it's maroon.
No, it's not. No, it's blue. Oh yeah, he does drive that maroon, but he
has that Mach 2 or whatever.
Mach
that's blue,
1
or whatever. I don't
2.
know.
It's a Mustang Mach 1.
And then he has that other one that was like a rally Mustang that's maroon.
Yeah, that's right. But he has a shed, and it's not really an inconvenient place. It's a very convenient place right at the end of his driveway, easily accessible. It's amazing. But this curve right in front of your house is so dangerous that people don't know when it's happening. And literally, people would come around this curve doing like 50 and run right off. It's a really big dip. Scott called it a cliff. It's more like a hill, but it's a pretty big hill. It's like a 7-foot hill. You know, it's taller than both of us. We had to like run and jump pretty much just to get up it when we were kids. But this hill, like people would just fly off of it. Well, this guy, man, he went through how many sheds?
I don't even know. I remember at one time that it like wrecked his lawnmower or something, and he was complaining about it.
Wrecked his lawnmower?
Or like
because somebody ran into the shed. Because he stores his stuff in it, and each time he would do it, I think the state actually paid to fix everything every time that happened.
I have no idea.
I think insurance probably covered it. Maybe if they had insurance.
Well, that's when they started putting them turn signs.
Yeah, they actually put in like those caution turn signs.
I know I lost a bunch of mailboxes.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't really complain about a mailbox. I mean, this man went through 2 sheds and 2 lawnmowers, and you went through a couple of mailboxes.
Yeah, I think the state paid for those because it was a wreck. But back on topic. So this guy lived up the hill to the left. Like if you're looking off my porch, to the left of us up a hill. It was one of our friends. I met him because we had just moved there, and everybody else lived in the neighborhood. So we went around, kind of knocked on everybody's houses, let them know we were new people. So I met him. We hung out for like a year or so. We played Halo all the time. That's the only game we played. It was Halo 3. I remember that to the T.
Yeah.
And we sucked. But then we played it so much, we eventually got pretty good at it.
You got good, scrub.
Yeah, I get good.
Get good. I get good.
So, but we would play these little games growing up. Like, I mean, we played Star Wars and stuff like that. And then,
hey, hand me that pillow.
One day, okay.
Thank you.
One day he was like, "Oh, I know this kid that lives down the road a little bit." See, before my mom didn't want me for the longest time. She didn't want me moving around and walking around the neighborhood because she didn't know how nice of a neighborhood it was. There could have been like some serial killer, druggies or something, drug dealer or something.
Right.
And so for the longest time she wouldn't let me. And then eventually I talked her in to let me go up the road a little bit. And then that's when I met you. I remember. I mean, we done so many things.
I mean, my mom was the same way. I mean, we were still really young. I mean, we're like 5 years old.
I don't know about that. May have been like 7 or 8, which I'm older than all y'all.
Will you quit hitting the mic?
Sorry. It's in my way.
I think you were 7 and I was 6 at the time.
That's possible.
Because you're how many months ahead of me? Your birthday's in June.
My birthday's in May.
May.
Are you turning 22 or?
I'll turn 23 this year.
Okay, so I'm May to October. However many months that is.
5 months.
Okay, 5 months older than you.
Yeah, so you're 5 months older. So at the time you were 7 and I was 6, I think.
But, and I don't think we were that young because...
Yeah, we were really young.
Well, the guy up the hill is like 5 years younger than us. So...
Is he? He's not that... Beep. He's not that young, is he? How old is he?
Yeah, he is 3 years younger than me.
Well, that's not 5 years, Scott.
Well, but still, if I'd have been 7, he would have been 4. And you think his mom would have let him go up the road at 4? I'm thinking he may have been like 10, and I might have been 13, and you might have been 12. I think that's probably more like it.
Maybe so. What happened to me?
I don't know. Because remember,
why do I think that I've known you for
I lived in that house
longer?
for like, I want to say, all right, let me think about this a second. 15 years I lived in that house. And I want to say...
Scott, I remember one big thing that would prove this wrong, because when did Kingdom Hearts come out?
2002.
When it first came out, you had it. Your sister had it, and you started playing it. Whenever you first started
But I
playing
didn't know you just yet. That's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
it was only a few months after, because you told me.
It may have been a little sooner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I moved like 3 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember because specifically you had only been playing it for like a couple of months, and you told me specifically, you were like, "Dude, I've been playing this game for a couple of months, and it's amazing. You should come play it." And we started playing Kingdom Hearts, and that's what got us hooked on Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Which we were young enough to like Disney.
Yeah.
Like real big too.
So that would prove 2002. So in 94 to 95 is 1 year. 95 to 2000 is 5 years, 6 years, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I was 8.
Okay.
Which
so
would make you 9. Okay, so there we go. We figured it out.
Made a little more sense.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we were really young, so why would they, let us go out in this neighborhood? But when we got to like 14, 15, 16.
Oh, we could go everywhere.
Dude, we were out at like 3 o'clock in the morning just running around the neighborhood and having fun with because it was me, you, and like 10 people max during the summer. Because you remember your neighbors, I won't say their names, but your neighbors.
Before the other people moved in?
You talking about adjacent to me?
No. Before the other people moved into that cabin.
Oh, okay, got you.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Before or after?
After that.
Okay, so we got...
Because they had a lot of cousins.
Okay, yeah, probably about 10 kids.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because it was like me and you and 10 others, so it'd make it 12 total.
No, it'd been 10 all of us together. It'd
Oh,
been
really?
me, you, and 8.
Because I know they have a lot of cousins.
Yeah, only 3 would come over time, though.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
And
But
one of them was way older than me, so he didn't really hang out with us too much.
But we would all be out like at night specifically, like playing tag and Manhunt. Oh my God, we play Manhunt constantly.
I remember when I figured out what Manhunt was.
Yeah.
And then I decided that it was going to be way better than hide and seek.
Because me and you would always be on a team, and it was kind of unfair because me and you were really athletic when we were younger.
Yeah, I know.
But we were, I know, right? Video games.
Pretty much.
But when we were younger, I wouldn't say athleticism had anything to do with it. I think it was the agility part of it because we were those kids that were into parkour when we were younger, and we were actually pretty decent at it. I
mean, for what you would call a kid in the parkour.
Yeah, for what you would call a kid in parkour, we were actually pretty decent at it. So like we would get into places that other people couldn't, and we would always win because they could never find us because, I mean, who could get into places we were in?
Yeah, and another thing, these styrofoam swords and stuff that they have now, we didn't have those as kids.
No.
We beat each other with sticks until his mom decided that we were going to put spaghetti noodles on the ends of sticks and tape them together.
Hey, it actually worked.
Yeah, but then we decided to go back to the sticks. But
you had the original idea, like whenever my mom mentioned, put spaghetti noodles. You know what spaghetti noodles are. They're like little flotation noodles you put in pools. But to put those on sticks, your original thought was to keep them from sliding off, put wire ties on them, and clip it. And you know how sharp wire ties are whenever you clip them?
I was young.
And
it would have worked.
And at the time, I knew they were sharp. But in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Clipped it. Within 5 minutes, both of our hands were bloodied.
I was a kid. It happened.
So we ended up using tape. That was idiotic, but...
Oh, yeah, and I remember when we tried to make that Keyblade, metal one, that was supposed to be my weapon when we went out, and we had that, we were modeling after the Wishing Star Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
And it had a little cog at the end of it.
Oh, my goodness, I remember this.
But we couldn't figure out what to put around the handle. Like, it's got the little key part.
Yeah.
I can't remember. We never could figure out what to put behind that handle.
We ended up putting, it was like a mailbox railing thing.
But it was
a
legit piece of just straight metal, probably aluminum, I'd say.
Yeah.
And we had this cog hooked to the top of it, and we had, I don't remember what it's called. It was just a piece of sheet metal that was small and had holes in it. And we could wrap it around and drill a hole through the top of it.
Yeah.
And then we drilled a hole and made and put a cog on it.
Oh my goodness!
And that was what it was. It was modeled after the Wishing Star Keyblade.
I've totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I still remember.
Oh my god!
And then we had your what are they called? Your practice katana, the wooden katana.
Oh yeah, a Bakken, I think that's what it's called.
Something like that. And we had that and that was fun to use.
I still have that.
It's broken.
Yeah, and I also have that bigger set. Remember, I had the staff and the katana.
I want that broken one
Do you?
because I want to say I'm the reason it broke.
You are the reason it broke.
Not necessarily because I broke it. I didn't break it, but I was the reason the person who broke it broke it.
We need to save this for another time and talking about this because we're talking about TV shows. Well,
and
we got
childhood.
well, yeah, growing up. Well, let's talk about TV shows before we go because we got about 6-7 more minutes left.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm a big anime guy now. I love watching anime, and please leave in the comment section if you know of a good anime, and if I haven't seen it, I'll watch it and I'll make sure it's English dubbed. I know I'm gonna get destroyed because it's not Japanese sub, but I'm dyslexic, so it's hard for me to read subtitles while I'm trying to watch a show.
are you really going to get crap for that though?
Yeah, a lot of people because English dub is
It's not as accurate
it's not
to the
as
original.
accurate as the original.
Okay.
So
I kind of figured it wasn't just because there's some translations between
I mean, some of
English
the hardcore anime fans, if they watch this, you know, they're
Yeah.
gonna say they'll be like, "Oh, really?" But I just want to explain that I'm dyslexic.
Right.
So if you can find an English dub one that's really good, and I haven't seen it, I will watch it. And I will let you know what I think about it after I watch it.
I know that I know that there are some translations between English and Japanese that just doesn't work. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, so they have to change it a
So
little
they
bit.
have to change it up a little bit so it makes sense in English. I didn't know that. I mean, I know there's some hardcore people out there that, you know, absolutely thrive on the fact of watching the original Japanese versions
Yeah.
and actually understand it, which is totally fine. But what do you think the percentage is? Do you think it's like a 50-50 thing?
Probably, actually, honestly, it may be more of a 75% chance. I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything,
A
but
scientist?
pretty much, if you're not dyslexic, you can watch it. I mean, that's basically what I'm saying.
What? A scientist? Dude, that's pretty broad for just like someone gathering statistics on.
Well, I
someone
don't know, but I'm saying like
Yeah,
if you count
I
as
get-
many
dude,
dyslexic people,
I was just giving you. I wasn't talking about dyslexic people either.
but a lot of people see that's a big thing though. Like some people are just like haters and they just won't watch the subtitles. They just want to watch the English
yeah,
version.
yeah.
But a lot of the people, I'm pretty sure, probably are dyslexic and they just can't do it. Like I would prefer watching in Japanese, but I can't do it. Like it's impossible for me.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a big anime guy. I mean, I still watch like Arrow and The Flash and stuff like that, and I watch Supernatural, big show that I like.
Big show.
A big show that I like. Is what I said.
Okay. I have the only anime I've been into is Fairy Tail.
Oh, Fairy Tail is my favorite anime of all time.
It's to this date. It's my favorite.
I love that anime. Oh my gosh. There's a movie coming out, and I'm so upset that I can't go watch it.
What is it?
Dragon Cry.
What?
It's called Fairy Tail Dragon Cry. The only place here that they're showing it is in Knoxville, and they're only showing it for 2 days.
Let's go.
I can't. I'll be gone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and I can't buy tickets.
Is it really that soon?
It's pretty soon. Yeah, they've already released all the trailers and everything for it. Like, it's already
Wow.
been dubbed.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been on it. Which I have a feeling at some point it's going to go on Funimation anyway.
Right.
So I'll end up getting to watch it there. But I can't go watch it in. It's kind of like, you remember when they, the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods?
Yeah.
When they announced it, like 2 weeks later it was in theaters? It's like that.
There's one movie I want to talk about in particular that I seen whenever I was little and started watching it because when I first watched it, I was scared of it. And then after a few years went by, I was like, I want to try it again. I want to watch it again. Watched it, love it. And now I'm absolute fan of every single film that this studio has released. You know what it is.
It's about Studio Ghibli, and it's Spirited Away.
Studio Ghibli.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Spirited Away.
Yeah, Spirited Away. Spirited
And then
Away.
Howl's Moving Castle and Ponyo and...
Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Castle in the Sky, Princess Mononoke, Ponyo, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, it's Kiki's Delivery
Kiki's. I keep forgetting that that's part of Studio Ghibli, but there's so many. But Spirited Away is my absolute all-time favorite film of all time. I don't know if you can consider it a movie. It's my all-time favorite movie. Period. Just because it's so, there's something about it. The art style is absolutely beautiful.
My all-time.
Just
All right,
like
since you said
and the story itself is amazing.
Your all-time favorite movie of all time.
Hands down.
Hands down, my all-time favorite movie of all time. I don't know if you know this, but there was a world in Kingdom Hearts of it. And it's my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts.
Give me a hint.
Tim Burton does
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hands down,
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas is the greatest movie of all time.
Did you hear about them coming up with a reboot for it?
No, and it's going to be garbage. Unless Tim Burton does it. If Tim Burton's doing it, I will watch it. If he isn't, I won't watch it.
I'm sorry to say, but it is going to be garbage. In my opinion, it's supposed to be a comic book reboot based around Zero.
Oh, it's a comic book?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch that shit. Hell yeah.
It's supposed to be based around Zero.
That's good.
Like his dog.
Because you really don't know Zero's story. I mean, you know the theory of like something leading into Corpse Bride, and Jack is the main character in Corpse Bride, and he just dies and becomes Jack Skellington, and Zero's the dog that's in it.
Right.
And that's Zero. There's a little theory about there. It's like Tarzan's parents were also Anna and Elsa's parents.
Oh, yeah. Dude, we need to do an episode on these big, like, connected theories.
Oh, like the Pixar movies?
Yes.
But yeah, hands down, Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite movie of all time.
I could see that.
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah,
I've always had sort of a dark side to me a little bit. And just, it's my favorite character in Kingdom Hearts is Riku. I mean, just anybody that has kind of like a half light, half dark side, just, it's my thing.
Yeah. I think any Disney film has honestly been, like, really close to me, just because it's Disney, obviously. But, like, I don't know, because Studio Ghibli is Disney. Spirited Away is a Disney film. It's all Disney. But it's just, Studio Ghibli doing it. So whenever
Disney owns everything, so
pretty much nowadays. But with Nightmare Before Christmas, I've always enjoyed Nightmare Before Christmas. It's always been a second for me, but always Studio Ghibli has been. Oh, fun fact, because I know you like Christian Bale as Batman.
Yeah,
he played Hal in Hal's Moving Castle.
That actually kind of makes sense. Thinking back at it.
Yeah. Because I didn't know that. Like I just remember watching. I remember watching
Christian
it.
Bale's like he's a real big. He does a lot of crap.
Yeah,
like,
he
does a lot of stuff.
Who's Tommy Lee Jones? He does a lot of Japanese stuff.
Does he really?
Yeah, a lot. He does like a lot of Japanese commercials. I think he does some Japanese movies. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't.
Apparently, he speaks fluent Japanese. Like
I've never seen a Japanese commercial that he's ever done.
Dude, I have to show you this after this episode. I'm serious.
But yeah, it's just what is. It's like voice acting, right? I've always wanted to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
Other than marine biologist. But voice actor, like if I could voice act anything, it doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's...
Do you still, to this day, want to be a marine biologist?
I love fish, dude. I love just the concept of the ocean. I'm terrified of the ocean, but I love it. Does that make sense?
It's one of those, yeah.
I guess that's why I like it so much.
I understand.
It's because...
I think it has to do with like a certain part of your mind. Like the ocean is so vast.
And there's so many things in there, man. Yeah, you don't know what it...
It's one of those things... It's one of those irrational but rational fears. It's like, in your mind, you're thinking, this is a very vast and dangerous place. It's scary. But at the same time, it's so unique and undiscovered that you want to discover it.
But yeah, like, I've tried doing different voices, just to see if I could be a voice actor.
Right.
For anything. I mean... I think I do a pretty decent Mickey, but we're not going to get into that this day.
Okay, then. Yeah, we actually need to end the episode because it's like we're 33 minutes in.
Yeah, I forgot you trying to keep it handleable.
I don't want everybody to be sitting through this and to get like 15 minutes into it. I know a majority of the time for me, I'm going to talk for a few more minutes. I know a majority of the time for me, if I'm watching a YouTube video. For me, honestly, one of my favorite YouTube channels right now is Super Mega. And if people don't know, that's Matt Watson and Ryan McGee from Syndigo, if anybody's familiar with that YouTube channel. But they do like a little podcast called the Super Mega Cast. And usually theirs is like an hour. And I know I can sit down personally, like if I'm just doing something in my room, I could put that on, put my Bluetooth earpiece in and listen to it, or just put on my headphones, or just listen to it no matter what, and listen the whole hour through. Like, for me, that's easy for me. Like, I can sit down and listen to something for an hour straight and be satisfied. But some people, I know that they're just not really into that.
Yeah, I can
So,
do it.
you know.
I mean, yeah, like when I'm in my truck sitting at work, on lunch or whatever, I refuse to watch a video that's over 15 minutes. I won't do it.
Which I think it has a lot to do with, like, the content that's in the video, Like, right now, whoever's listening to this is just listening to it. There's no visuals to it. But in my mind, there's something, I don't know, there's something pleasing about that. I think for me, personally, it helps with me being productive. Because if
it's like listening to music.
Yeah, it's like listening to music. If I'm able to just sit down and work on something, like do homework or clean my room, do something, no matter what it may be, if I'm listening to just like somebody or multiple people talking about a topic, kind of like music, it's just kind of relaxing, getting to listen to this conversation going on. It's just something I can go on about. But anyways, thanks y'all. Blah, 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 blah. Man,
That's a little right there.
I don't know where my tongue went. Thank you all for watching this episode.
Oh yeah, thanks guys. I'm glad that you're listening to us through the whole thing. I mean, it's really appreciative.
Yeah.
I know we're just talking, but we try to keep it interesting for everybody.
If you are listening, hopefully you do enjoy it, and you might actually be able to relate to some of the stuff we talk about occasionally. Sometimes we just go off topic and talk about the most ridiculous stuff you've ever heard, but for the stuff that we're actually being sincere about, hopefully you're able to relate to it. Hopefully you like it. Maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, thanks for tuning in this episode. Scott, thanks for being here again.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. I enjoy coming down.
Yeah, it's always fun. But we will see you all in the next episode. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya!